Hi everyone, welcome back to styleoblender, and in today's episode I am going to teach you how you can sew a beautiful stylish top for your little one. So for that I used the net fabric, which was the leftover from my gown, which I sewed for myself, and the side pieces which were left, and I didn't want to throw them away. And the next fabric is a silk scarf which I had for a very long time. So let's begin with some cutting and then we will start doing the stitching. As you can see, I am marking on the widest part of the leftover net piece, which is 6 inches, 6.5 inches. I'm going to use the net which is open from the middle. I'm going to use it at the front side of the top, and at the back it's going to be closed. So it's going to be a waistcoat style top. Make sure you cut on the same length for front and back. Now I am going to start cutting on my silk scarf, and as you can see on my fabric, there is a pattern. The flowers are going upwards, so just make sure if you're using a pattern fabric, then you have to make sure that all the patterns are going on one way. That's the thing which I learned in a hard way. So once I am satisfied with my patterns and everything, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm gonna make another fold. So I have 4 layers. Now I'm going to mark on 20 inches and I will cut it straight. I'm going to use a lining underneath this fabric because my fabric is a little thin and it's white, but it's entirely up to you if you want to use a lining or not. Now I cut on the measurements which I have told you in my earlier videos. I'm going to link all the videos in description box, as well as on the screen you would be able to see the measurements which I cut it on. So on my net fabric, I'm going to start marking for the neckline. So the width of my neckline is going to be 2.5 inches and the depth is going to be 3 inches. Now make a V shape, and from the lower part of the net fabric, I am going to make a little curve. All you have to do is mark 1 inch upwards and make a semicircle and then cut it. Now the bottom part of the black fabric, black net fabric, as you can see, there is a border, so I don't have to do the finishing at the bottom of the net fabric. So once I cut the V shape and the curve on my net fabric, then I'm going to place my silk shirt on top of it, the cutting of my shirt, and then I'm going to trace all the marks and then cut on that mark. As I wasn't sure about the placement of my net fabric on top of the silk fabric, so what I have decided is I just cut the excess piece and then I will place the net fabric on top of the white fabric, and then I will pin it and I will see that how I'm going to place it. But before that, I am going to cut a bias strip on 1.25 inches, and then I'm going to finish the edges. Now I'm going to cut the neckline. So the depth is going to be 2 inches and the width is going to be 2.5 inches. Now you can see how I'm going to sew the bias strip on the edges, and as you can see, the end of the net fabric is already has border. I'm not going to finish the border, but I am going to finish the curves. So what I will do is I'm going to cut all the excess fabric inside and make small cuts, so my fabric has a little bit ease and I can turn it over easily. If you don't understand what I'm saying, then just watch it closely and you will understand that how I am doing it. And as you can see how I am finishing one side of waistcoat, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and then I will place it on top of the fabric and then pin it and sew it. Now I am going to place my net fabric on top of the white fabric and pin it as much as I am satisfied with the settings and everything. So once I am satisfied, then I will sew once again. And at this point I haven't finished the neckline because I am going to use the lining piece, and so that's the reason why I didn't do the finishing of the neckline. So once I am done stitching with the net fabric on top of the white fabric, then I will start stitching the neckline, and I will do the rest of the finishes. Now it's time to sew the back piece. So for the back piece, I am just placing the net just like that, and I'm going to sew it. I will cut it later on because that way it would be easy for me. So once I am done with this stitching at the back, I am going to cut the sleeves, and as you can see, this is the leftover piece, and it's really hard for me to work with that fabric, but that's the beauty. If when you have challenge, then the design comes out. So this is how I am just going to sew a plain sleeves, but I'm going to line it with the white fabric, so the design of the net will look really nice. There's so many different ways of stitching lining with the sleeves because net stretches and the silk fabric doesn't. I placed my armhole cutting on top of the fabric for sleeves, and I measure. This is the easiest way of cutting the sleeves if you even don't know how to do the cuttings. So you have to keep a few things in your mind when you're stitching two different fabrics together. So that's the most easiest part of cutting the sleeves, but there are so many other ways which I have showed you in my old videos. I'm just going to place my fabric, my armhole cutout on top of the net fabric, and then I will cut it accordingly, and then I will place my sleeves on top of the silk fabric and cut 1/2 inch extra from the corners. After that, I'm coming back to my top, so it's going to be front open, so it would allow my child to wear this top easily, and I can take it off easily. So I'm going to mark 3.5 inches on the in the middle of my dress, and I'm going to make a slit. Now I am going to place it on top of my lining fabric, and as you can see, I didn't cut the lining fabric yet because I just wanna sew it first and then I will cut it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten up my fabric, make sure with nice and easy hands. And as you can see, now I am done stitching, and now I'm going to cut all around my neckline. Now I'm going to flip it on other side, and as you can see, I didn't cut any fabric, I didn't give any shape. I am just going to flip it on the right side of the fabric, and I'm going to iron it nicely so it would have a nice crisp edges, and I know the exact shape of my top. So for the back neckline, I'm going to cut on 2 inches, 2.5 inches for the width and 1.5 inches for the depth, and I'm going to cut it. So these measurements are good for 1.5 to 2.5-year-old. And if you want to place a collar at the back, go ahead. And then I am going to place my front of the fabric on top of the back piece of my fabric, and then I will just cut according to the shape. So anyways, after that I'm going to sew the shoulders and then sew the sleeves, and I'm going to finish the sides and cut all the extra pieces, and then I will show you the final result. So as you can see, my design is almost done. But if you think it's a little bit revealing from the front, then all you have to do is take the extra piece of the lace fabric or the white fabric, whichever you have available, and then place it inside. Complete sew on one side and sew halfway to the other side, and sew the tick button over there, and you have your design ready. But for me, I'm going to place a hook and eye, and then on top of it I'm going to use these tassels, but you can definitely use beads, tassels, or anything which you think is going to look great on your dress. My daughter wore this top with tights and it looks so gorgeous on her. The colors were nice on her. I have a series of black and white dress designs for kids, especially I have for different ages, because I sew few for myself. But if you want to see that, please do let me know, because I am thinking of uploading a series. I have another channel in Urdu or Hindi language, so you can check that out. I will put the link in description. If you have any other requests, please do let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for stopping by. Until the next time, bye.